Hello, this is Jess. This is chat session number 12, November 12th, 2017. It's about halftime of the first games of the afternoon on Sunday. Gonna go right into our chat session. We're gonna go right into our history. 1954 on this day. Ellis Island, the gateway to America, shuts its doors after processing more than 12 million immigrants since opening in 1892. Today, an estimated 40% of all Americans trace their roots through Ellis Island. Pretty cool. On to the next tidbit of history, 1980. More than 3 years after launch, the U.S. planetary probe Voyager 1 edges within 77,000 miles of Saturn. The high-resolution images showed a world that seemed to confound all known laws of physics. And that was the history. That was 1980. And if you can imagine now, that same spacecraft, Voyager 1, I believe, is on the edge of our solar system, still sending back data. So our space exploration continues. And them being up there in the space station and all that stuff, there's all kinds of new stuff that's happened since 1980, of course, but that was this day in 1980 for the history in the space area. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon, running a little slow today, trying to drink a little bit of coffee before I head out to go watch the afternoon games over at my daughter's house. So, we'll get on with the journey. I've been seeing a lot about these elections that, be coming up in midterms for all these different elected officials in Washington. And I have a couple of questions about gerrymandering and why we even do that. I mean, somebody's benefiting somehow with the way they rig up these counties to one side going to this district and the other one going to that district, and I think it's a scam. And I think that if whatever state you live in, you should find out why they're doing that, and simply ask why. What's the purpose? Who's benefiting from this restructuring of where votes go, to this district or that district on the counties that they. I find it rigged. I mean, when they start maneuvering areas to this vote going this way to that county and that county going that way, I think it guarantees incumbency to a disadvantage. I mean, it's obvious to me, and I just don't understand why we do it. I'm going to actually look into it myself. I know it happens here in the state I live in. I just don't. The logic of it is that somebody's rigging it so they can win and maintain whatever constituency, whatever party they want to be in the Congress or the Senate. I don't know. I just think that either side, it's nonsense. Democrat, Republican, Independent. They shouldn't be nobody rigging the state to guarantee a certain vote. Gets a certain party in, Republican or Democrat. I just don't understand. I'm almost dumbfounded by it. Why do we have to rig stuff when we just go out and vote, and then however the votes tally, that's what happens, and that's the way it should be? That's how democracy should work. When you start meddling with stuff, deciding how votes are going to be placed within counties and different things, whatever they're doing with this gerrymandering, I find it just, like I said, I'm going to find out in my state about what's going on with that. I just feel that's ridiculous. And I would like some explanations as to the purpose and the benefits of whoever's making these restructuring lines and stuff, you know. Let's just vote, and however the votes fall, you know, deal with it. If you're running in a race, you know, do it right, do it fair. All this other stuff is just nonsense. It kills the will of the voter to even go out and participate because they see it as being rigged. And of course, certain people benefit when people don't vote. That's what happens. Some party's going to benefit, or you know, when people don't vote. So that's the other thing. The restrictions on the voting. If you have a valid ID, you know, then you should be able to vote. There shouldn't be nothing else required. You know, we have ways of checking, you know, if an ID is valid. And, you know, you can even go so far as to say, hey, it needs to match, you know, the address you live at. That, you know, that's a possibility for proof that it's you or whatever by the address on, you know, proof of your address, and your ID matches your address, then you should be able to vote in any situation, I think. And to restrict that and hinder that is also against, you know, democratic principles, democracy. And I think that all those things need to be challenged by the people that live here in our country. I think that fairness in elections should be a priority for democracy to survive. Excuse me while I get a drink of coffee. My picks are, of course, it's halftime, so it's hard to say how it's going to end up. And my picks so far are iffy on a couple of games I thought would happen for the team that I picked, but apparently any given Sunday things happen, right? So what's something that would interest people that's going on and where you live at? You know, it doesn't have to be a political thing, but you could look for ways to improve the quality of life in your area. You know, parks, that kind of stuff.
Want a break from the ads? If you tap now to watch a short video,
excuse me for one moment.